Hello and welcome to the Forest Park Branch Improvements Virtual Information Presentation. I am your Customer Experience Manager, Justyn Rampa, and I'll be joined later in this video by your Eva Jane Romaine Coombe Library Director, Paula Brehm-Heeger. It's good to be here with you sharing an update on the progress since the original community listening session in 2019 at the Forest Park Branch. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch this video as we share some exciting news. So here's an overview of what we'll be covering today. I'll share a summary of the feedback we heard from the community members in Forest Park and surrounding communities such as Springdale, what progress we've made on the facility master plan so far, and then the exciting news about what's ahead for the Forest Park Branch Library. As a refresher on the journey that led us here, in 2019, we embarked on community engagement across Hamilton County to listen to improvements you felt were needed at all of our 41 locations. There was community listening sessions for each branch, as well as dot surveys, online surveys, focus groups, and then feedback I heard directly in messages or phone calls from you, or that you shared with your branch manager, Sean Davidson, and the team at Forest Park. We took all of that input, along with technical assessments from architects, engineers, and consultants about the physical state of our buildings and created the Facility Master Plan. It is an extensive document that lays out a roadmap for how to make needed improvements over a 10-year period. There is a fairly robust webpage that has all of this information and more. If you haven't been to it yet, I would definitely recommend checking it out. Talking about improvements needed across 41 locations is a lot. The document itself is approximately 175 pages. We were in a situation where many needed improvements on our facilities were deferred because we simply didn't have the money in the past. With the generous approval from taxpayers in Hamilton County on our 2018 levy, we actually do have money to make some much needed improvements to our libraries across Hamilton County. Obviously, COVID has had an impact that we didn't necessarily expect. Supply chain impact primarily among them. But we are still making progress. To help effectively discuss those improvements needed and eventually the progress made, we developed 5 different planning zones as part of the Facility Master Plan. These are geographic groupings based on several factors, including geographic proximity among the branches, customer usage patterns, and equity. Forest Park is in the Central North Planning Zone. While we know that all of our 41 locations needs improvements of some kind, as part of the cost estimates completed for that work, we know that we simply don't have enough money to build or renovate each branch across the county. In demonstrating good stewardship with the money we do have, we look at the planning zones through the lens of equity to try and ensure that we have as robust a selection of services within each planning zone. Part of that work includes working to ensure each planning zone has at least one big next generation library in the 20,000 to 25,000 square feet range, significantly bigger than any branch we had previously in the system. As part of that work, we had community listening sessions for each of our branches. And here are some images from our Forest Park listening session. As part of the Facility Master Plan, each branch has a 2-page summary in Part 2 of the Facility Master Plan. Here is a summary of what we heard from you in that session. Develop dynamic, engaging, and flexible spaces that can easily adapt to the shifting needs of the community within a year or within the same day. Have particular focus on youth services. There was a lot of great discussion around what the next generations would need from their library. Increase access to technology and social spaces for community use. With the tech divide growing and true community space shrinking, the library can work to provide more of both. Delineate spaces for kids, teens, adults, and designate quiet and noisy spaces. We want to figure out how we can truly create a space for minds of all kinds. Adaptability and relevance for future generations, and finally, there was a demonstrated support for a new location and/or a new build. So thank you very much for your feedback, because we definitely were listening. Since launching the facility master plan, we have completed 2 projects that are likely the most comparable in terms of scope. Our new Price Hill and Deer Park branches, which both opened this year. I would encourage you to visit one or both of those branches as we begin to work on the new Forest Park branch library, because both of these projects definitely can inform our approach here at Forest Park. Zooming out to the whole system, I did also want to share a visual overview of all that we've completed in the facility master plan since implementation began. As I said earlier, we are not able to build a new branch everywhere, so there are levels of improvements including branch refreshes, strategic investment, and ongoing maintenance. For Forest Park and the other projects where we are exploring relocation as an option, we approach this process very seriously. These are the most expensive projects, and we want to be very thoughtful in how we are using your tax dollars. Land acquisition is one of the most challenging pieces of the design project like this. This includes striking the balance between the benefit of offering the community a newly designed library at a location that can effectively serve them and is accessible. Not insignificantly, there has to be available land, it has to be within our budget, and the land itself has to be able to functionally and sustainably support the structure of a new building. For all of these reasons, we developed a site selection criterion that is in Part 3 of the Facility Master Plan. This has helped us to navigate the exciting but challenging process of land acquisition with our design projects, including looking at multiple sites here in Forest Park. You may recall that as part of the initial conversation around the community listening session, we were working with the local city council to look at a site across the street from this current branch. Using the site selection criteria as a guide, we ultimately decided that the site across the street was not a viable option for the new Forest Park branch library. Through continued work with the City Council, we are very excited tonight to reveal the new site for your library, and I'm going to hand it over to Paula for the big reveal.
Hi, this is Paula, and I'm here to let everyone know about the exciting news related to the Forest Park branch. We will be moving the library service to a new location on Northland Boulevard. You can see here in this information, it is the area marked with B, so it's right along Northland in an area that was previously an office park and is owned by the City of Forest Park. We're working closely with the city. Thank you to the council as well as city officials who have done a great job of helping us find an exciting new location. You can see here that we're located near the post office as well as across the street from several restaurants and businesses. So we're really excited. There is public transportation in this area as well. We know that's important, and that's a piece of our site selection criteria that is really important for accessibility so that everyone can use our services. The current building that has done so much for our community over the past 50 plus years that it has been there, we are planning to work with Forest Park so that they will take that over and it will remain a government building. It won't be a library, but the City of Forest Park is hoping to use that for their own services to the community as a government building. So we do honor the work from that library, and we're excited to have the opportunity to build what we're calling a next-gen library here. The next slide, you can see it's the area that is to if you look at the area that has the driveway there, it's right to the left. There are a couple of lots there, and we have a lot that is right to the left of the driveway. It's very large. We're hoping for a 2.5 acre lot there. So this will be a 25,000 square foot facility in our plans. If you haven't been to the new Deer Park branch over in the Dillonvale Shopping Center, you can look at there, take a visit, give you an idea of the scope, though this will be our first branch that we are building at that scale from the ground up. The Dillonvale Shopping Mall is a refurbished TJ Maxx and it's wonderful and amazing. Forest Park will be a little bit different. We've done some other projects, Price Hill and Walnut Hills, which will be opened hopefully this coming year or in early 2023. That one they are both Price Hill and Walnut Hills Carnegie buildings that we've renovated and added onto. But Forest Park will be a next gen that we're building from the ground up. We're really excited about that. We will have several amenities here that we plan for, including a large meeting room, 120 parking spaces. We are working to have a drive-through there as well, which is why it's wonderful to have the extra area, the larger lot. We have several drive-through at our libraries on the west side, a couple that we've added on the east side. We don't really have a drive-through on the north side of the county, so that will be a great service, again, to Forest Park, Springdale, and all of the surrounding communities. So again, we are working to develop a new next-gen library on this lot and doing a trade with the City of Forest Park. Another shout out to all of those city officials who've worked closely with us to find a great spot. And thank you to the community who have been really supporters and advocates. When we had our session, community engagement session there in 2019, we had such excellent turnout, so much enthusiasm, such a forward-thinking group who really gave us great ideas, and we've pushed forward. We look forward to working with you, and thank you again for all of your support.